South, dirty, we dirty. Can y'all really feel me? Baby girl. East Coast, feel me. West Coast, feel me. Can y'all really feel me? East Coast, feel me. West Coast, feel me. Dirty South, dirty, dirty. Can y'all really feel me?
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are conquering something I never thought I could do. I mean, I thought I could do it, I've thought about it, but I never actually thought we'd be here. I am doing box braids on myself, but these ones are going to be I don't even know if they're considered knotless, but we're gonna call them knotless, okay? Because we say they are. These are inspired by my girl Nola Viva, and I love that name. Nola Viva, Nola Viva. I could say that all day. Honestly, I was heartbroken because the woman who I normally go to do my box braids could not do them, and I was contemplating going to someone else to get my hair done, but honey, the pricing, it was just crazy, and I just was like, let me try to do them myself. Let me try to be self-sufficient, grown woman vibes. So I stumbled upon the knotless box braids crochet method, and I thought that it seemed fairly easy enough for me to follow. This creator stood out to me and I really liked it. I even loved, girl, her three-sided mirror. Okay, I was like, that is a game changer. I had seen it before and I had told myself, made a mental note, like, these things are out there, you should take advantage of them. But I think that was my first time seeing it like used in real time, and I was like, that seems like heaven. So she definitely inspired me to buy one of those too. So I do have one of those in my video today, and they are so not expensive. I have a link below where you can find it. But that's what today's video is going to be. We are conquering this, and I actually think that, I think that I'm glad that I'm like testing my boundaries and trying different things, and who knows, maybe this time next year I can try actual knotless box braids, the traditional route where you're adding hair in. Who knows? So I'm starting off with my hair blow dried, and something I focus on now is just making sure I run through the roots really well and not so much focusing on the end. But I just used my blow dryer for that, and then I'm basically just starting from the back. Starting was the hardest part because I was like, no going back now. The first thing I had to make sure I did was create tiny braids all over my head. The mirror definitely helped in terms of parting. My parting was still not perfect because, like, even with the mirrors, like, you have to practice makes perfect. But I tried my best, and in terms of like measuring, I eyeballed it. I knew I wanted the braids to be smaller. I knew that if like in my mind, I didn't want to physically do smaller braids because I knew that was more work, more time, more effort, but I knew that the look that I wanted was going to be smaller braids. So I have to make sure it's not too small because I didn't want anything to break off, like my hair. And small disclaimer, I did this over the span of like 3 or 4 days, so take that as you will. This was definitely not done in one day or even close to that. I knew I wanted to take my time with it, and I didn't want to be delusional at 3 a.m. like doing braids, so I made sure to block out enough time so that I could take my time and do each individual one. But honestly, I think it turned out well. And side note aside, I feel like the braids were really cute on their own, and I definitely want to try doing mini braids on myself in the future. So I did get this pack hair off of Amazon, and I wanted to make sure mostly that it was the right length because I wasn't going to be doing any type of separation of the hair myself. Like, I wasn't tapering the ends or anything, so I wanted to make sure it was long on its own. I think it was like 22 or 20 inch. And it also was ombre, and I was like, oh, ombre is cute. Like, I couldn't decide what color I wanted to do anyway, so best of both worlds. But the process is actually easier than you would think. You're essentially taking your crochet needle and you're taking the pack hair, and then you're slipping it through the braid, and then after that you're turning your hair into basically the third piece in the braid, and then you're also taking a little bit of hair from each side and then putting that into that hair. I hope that makes sense. Now, they don't turn out perfect, obviously, You have to kind of work with it and see what works. And again, I chose smaller sizing for my hair, so I think that played a big part in them kind of giving the illusion of looking a little bit more uniform. I feel like when they're chunkier, it's easier to tell when a braid is looking a little more crooked or something. So I just went around my head and I braided almost all the way down. I did leave hair out because I knew I was gonna dip the ends in hot water, so I wasn't necessarily worried about braiding all the way to the end. But I did go all around my head. Y'all, it was a task. I was tired at a lot of points. I broke it up into different days, so I wasn't doing it the full day, but at least like half the day I would do it in the morning, go to work, come home, do it, wake up, do it. It was just like nonstop. So I definitely give actual braiders their kudos and people who do this as a living, because I could never. My hands, my arms, my wrists, they could never. But I'm just going along and braiding the hair. I was getting excited as I saw the progress coming together. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is actually looking like braids. Like, I don't know what I expected, but I was excited because it's just like artwork kind of. It's like when you're creating something, to see it come into fruition, it's a crazy feeling, especially because I never really saw myself doing box braids or braids that are smaller. So I think this method definitely was a really good introduction for me and gave me a little bit more confidence on doing my hair. Now, as I got up towards the top of my head, I did start to get a little bit worried. My main concerns were, how is this going to lay? Because to me, that's kind of the tell-all. I felt like I needed to lay flat, or at least be kind of flat. If it's too chunky, it's just not gonna look uniform. I mean, I knew this wasn't gonna look like, it was 5-star braids or anything, but I was like, I want them to look, put together. So I was definitely paying attention to how much hair I was using. And when I did get towards the front, I actually did start to take smaller pieces of pack hair. I kind of just guesstimated again, but I really just divided what I was doing before in half, and I just took less hair. And that is because I wanted the front ones to be smaller, and I thought, if I take a little bit of hair away, it's not going to be too obvious that the ones are that much smaller, but I wanted them to look more uniform and a little bit more put together. So I did, lose a little bit of pack hair at the ones in the front. I was tired, y'all. I was over it, to be honest, but I knew I had to finish, and I was so close to the finish line. Okay, so this is after I finally finished, honey. I was geeked. I was like, ooh, this hair is so long. I loved it. The ombre is so cute. Good choices all around. So I'm taking my boiling hot water, and honestly, y'all, this is an experiment because I wasn't sure how this hair was going to react to the water. I've never worked with this hair before. I saw it on Amazon, and I think the other girl referred to it in her video as well. I will say it wasn't my favorite in terms of like the hot water. Like, I definitely have worked with other hair, Kinggmaddie, like just other hair in general, where the hair has just reacted a lot better. Like, the hair shriveled, which is what we wanted. We wanted the hair to shrivel up a little bit, but it gave off this wavy effect, which I didn't mind it in the end. Like I said, I'm very go with the flow, so I kind of ended up liking the wavy in the end. But originally I was hoping it was just going to kind of come out straight and sleek, and this hair just did not do that, and that's not how it reacted. So it does matter what type of pack hair you use, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so baby hairs, y'all know the drill. We're gonna put these hairs down. Because this is not a super tight style, like I didn't grip the hair in the front. I do have a lot of loose hair in the front, which can be a good or bad thing depending on if you like baby hairs. If you don't, then I completely understand, and this probably isn't the style for you. Or, I mean, you could definitely go back in and grip it a little tighter, but for me it was a protective style, so I'm not trying to grip it too tight, and I think I left out just enough baby hair to give the style a little flair. So yeah, I just went around and did them on my head. Okay, so lastly is the mousse, and just putting mousse on top of my head just to kind of slick everything down. What's funny is I didn't even know this was a thing until like, I feel like the last like 5 years is when I found out this was a thing. And I was like, I just never knew, or I just was not on to game. But yeah, I love doing this after I do any type of style, and it's just really good for setting your hair and getting any flyaways out of the way. I'm also putting double scarves on. Y'all, you know I do not play with setting my hair like I have to afterwards, just for my own comfort. But this is how the hair turned out. This is our final look. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I think it turned out so pretty. Like I'm obsessed. I don't even know what to say. I'm in shock. I definitely, like I said, I am a bougie girl. I love getting my braids done. I love like having them just done by someone else professionally. But I was really surprised at how good these turned out, especially for my first time trying them. So I was really excited, and this is a really good method if you are just kind of introducing yourself into this type of braiding style or doing your own hair. But that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm going to link down below all of the information you'll need, such as hair, the 3-sided mirror, which was the real MVP of this video. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Follow me on my socials, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.